What's up, everybody? I'm back for the second half of Gemini season, but before we get started with the reading, I guess we should address the change in scenery. I did move within these past 2 weeks, and it was crazy. It was exhausting, but finally here in my own place. And if you supported me over these past 2 weeks, I thank you so much. It's truly, truly appreciated. But yeah, I'm here now, and I haven't really put up a lot of my stuff yet, but I'm excited to finally have my own place, have my own energy, and I'm excited for how I can expand, from here on out with my business and just my personal life and my personal energy, I suppose. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much. I really do want to go ahead and get into the readings for the second half of Gemini season. Of course, we're going to do the rainbow spread. So we're going to start off with 6 cards, and we'll pull more as needed. And yeah, see what is coming through for all of us for the second half of Gemini season, and then we'll pull the animal spirit card after that. So, Spirit, thank you for bringing us together with everybody who is watching this video, coming across this tarot scope for the second half of Gemini season. Please allow me to connect with the energies of the collective. Bring forward comment messages for what we may be experiencing for the second half of Gemini season. What do we need to know or be aware of, and how can we continue to align our energy to our highest good? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Second half of Gemini season, we're going to start off with the life position. So what is the most prominent energy that we are stepping into Gemini season with? Now the Ace of Cups in the reverse, okay? What are we healing, or what is the action that we are taking for the second half of Gemini season? Okay, we have the Two of Wands. What is the sunlight? What are the achievements or possible successes for us for the second half of Gemini season? The Nine of Pentacles. What is keeping us grounded at this moment? The Ace of Swords. Okay, how can we experience more peace and more serenity? Second half of Gemini season, Spirit. The High Priestess. And then what is the advice? What do we need to know or be aware of moving forward the second half of Gemini season? The Star. Okay. Powerful, powerful spread. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers card. So portals, it feels like portals are definitely opening up. Second half of Gemini season, the Lovers is also a Gemini card. So choices, decisions are about to be made at this time. I definitely see that with this Two of Wands and this High Priestess coming through. But we are going to start off with this Ace of Cups in the reverse, which is the main energy that we're starting off Gemini season, or the second half of Gemini season. And, Cups is all about your emotions, your heart space, your feelings, what you need to feel fulfilled and satisfied. To have this Ace of Cups in the reverse is pretty interesting because, like and aces are like new beginnings or new opportunities that are coming through. To have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, it gives me this image of literally just like having your cup and like pouring it out, So it could be at the beginning of Gemini season, we are showing up with a cup, or we have our cup, right? And it is waiting to be filled, But there is something about the emotions that is so important for us right now at the second half of Gemini season, because it kind of feels like we're coming into this knowing what we want, right? Knowing what we want to feel and what we want to experience, but it's almost like this way where we're deciding now to fill this cup with something new, right? Because like I said, like it feels like we're showing up with this cup and it's empty, but we're wanting to fill it. This cup is like the paramount thing on our mind stepping into Gemini season. So then we move in to this Two of Wands for the healing at this time. And this is kind of like the grass is greener type of energy, but it's really being able to see like opportunities for yourself that are exciting, right? Things that you want to like move forward and take action on. If you could see it in the way that I'm looking at this, this Two of Wands is facing this Ace of Cups in the reverse. So it's kind of funny. I feel like, you know, how this Two of Wands figure holds this globe in their hand. Imagine that you are this person, but instead of this globe, it's your cup. You know, you have an empty cup and you're looking at possibilities. You're wanting to fill this cup. And it feels like you want to do something new, right? And it's possibly something that you haven't considered before, or possibly like an option that was there that you just didn't decide to go down in the past, you know, because you're constantly kind of deciding what is going to be the most exciting thing, the most, you know, fun thing, or the thing that's going to keep you passionate for the longest, you know. The interesting thing with this Two of Wands is that it's only a two. You know, we're not very far in this Wands journey, and Wands being fire energy, you can burn out of something or lose the excitement just as quick as you get it. And that is kind of like a message that I would bring forward with this Two of Wands, especially when it comes to having this Ace of Cups, you know, in the reverse that we're ready to fill. I think if you are going to be too like one foot in, one foot out, or constantly in this phase where you are trying to find the better thing, or trying to put yourself in the more exciting thing, then you're not really going to be able to build consistency or stability with that pleasure, if that makes sense. Immediate gratification isn't sustainable, you know? So if you're trying to explore a new direction in regards to what you enjoy, what you find pleasurable, give it time, you know? Don't just keep jumping ship the second that you get bored. So that message was for somebody. I don't know why I needed to say that. So moving into the success or the highlights for the second half of Gemini season, we've got this Nine of Pentacles. This is the single ladies card. It's the harvest season. It's when you have built up your skills or your resources, or you've shown up so much on a regular basis to grow towards a particular goal, that you're now at this point where you are able to benefit from the fruits of your labor, right? It's almost like you've created like a nest egg, and now you are able to kind of use your resources how you want to, and like really enjoy them. To have this as the success or possible highlight for the second half of Gemini season, it feels really good because it gives off this energy or feeling of like stability and like confidence in oneself and one's ability to support oneself. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have a reserve of like resources or skills or knowledge that is benefiting you so much right now. The second half of Gemini season. I want to pull another card for this. Nine of Pentacles. What more can we see with this Nine of Pentacles coming through for the success for the second half of Gemini season? The Strength card. So when I was out on a walk earlier today, I walked by this sign and it said, "Courage is contagious," which is very true. You know, whenever you see somebody who is like boldly like standing up for themselves or boldly showing up as themselves in all situations, it's really inspiring, you know, because a lot of times it's easy to hold yourself back because you are, I guess, insecure or afraid of how your expression is going to be received. Anyways, with this Strength card, it's a Leo card. But this is about your ego. So I always say with the strength card, there could be a way that you're holding back your personal expression and kind of like your truth of who you are. Um, or this is about like fully integrating yourself with this type of egoic like instinct of yours, and no longer needing to repress those animalistic desires that you have, right? So with this combination of this Nine of Pentacles and this Strength card for the success that we are experiencing in the second half of Gemini season, I just feel like for a lot of us, this is being embodied in who we are, or finally being able to pull on the resources of like our truth, if that makes sense. Like, if you are navigating this world, and especially when it comes to the things that you love and the things that you desire, um, I feel like when you are attuned with that, like your egoic self and what you need, like, and when you're going for things in a way that's not just about immediate gratification, like I said, it's when you know that you are making decisions based on what you truly love and you truly desire and your personal values, but also like going towards things that are meaningful for you, not just things that are going to be like a quick hit, or things that are just about having like status, or the presentation of something. It's not performative. So this is what I'm seeing. It's like a groundedness within ourselves and our personal values that allows us to make decisions on how we express ourselves and what we take action on in regards to what we're passionate about and what we love and what we desire. And using that as our compass when we are going towards like filling our cup now, when we're seeking those things that are going to make us happy, make us satisfied. Moving on to the grounding energy, how we are staying grounded during the second half of Gemini season, we have this Ace of Swords. So, Swords energy is communication, thoughts, information, perception, how we create meaning of the world. It feels like being able to speak or communicate or put your thoughts out there is going to be very important for the second half of Gemini season. It's a sword, and I see this coming right after this Strength card and the Nine of Pentacles. So it almost feels like you have to defend yourself, like regularly, and almost like stand on business when it comes to like who you are, what you want out of your life experience, and what is going to like fulfill you and make you happy. What more can we see with this Ace of Swords for the grounding? King of Pentacles, like I said, like standing on business, right? Pentacles, once again, are tangible resources. It could be finances. It could be anything that provides a sense of stability and security that you have worked for, right? That you've put in a lot of like responsibility or time and effort to develop or grow this. The King of Pentacles, they're the boss of something. There is something that they are responsible for that is like paramount, right? And I feel like with this King of Pentacles coming through after this Nine of Pentacles and the Strength card, like there is a way that we are realizing that we are so much more powerful when we are making decisions that are in alignment with our ego, of who we truly are, how we see ourselves, how we understand ourselves, how we want to express ourselves and put ourselves out there, right? So I feel like this combination of the Strength card and the Nine of Pentacles is almost like a King of Pentacles light. If that makes sense. Like it's a diet King of Pentacles where like the Strength card and the Nine of Pentacles is discovering this new sense of peace or new sense of self containment when you are in alignment with who you are and your truth, right? So now that you have had that experience, you're kind of like seeing yourself as this King of Pentacles, where you're like almost in total understanding of who you are, your values, your morals, and how to make decisions based off of that, right? So to have this Ace of Swords and this King of Pentacles here for the grounding, this is putting that into action on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Whenever you're making decisions, whenever you're communicating, communicate based off of what you've worked for. Communicate based off of your responsibility to yourself and your truth of your desire and what you want. So that's how you stay grounded. Stay grounded in your morals. Stay grounded in your ego. Stay grounded in who you are and what you want. Okay, to experience more peace, moving on, we've got this High Priestess, and this is a divine feminine type of energy, but it's about intuition. It's about connection to information that is not necessarily always about logic. Excuse me. The High Priestess, she's very intuitive, and she's just connected to herself on an emotional level. So the High Priestess here for our peace is basically a message telling you to trust yourself, trust your feelings, trust your emotions. I love how this is coming through in this spread beneath this Two of Wands, right? Because it, to me, is like feeling this experience of knowing what's right for you because your body is moving towards that, because your body wants you to move towards it. It's a two and a two. So it's very synchronistic. It's very like coincidental, but it's more so this kind of like spiritual validation that occurs when you are honoring yourself, honoring your truth, honoring your emotions, and taking action based off of that truth, based off of that inner feeling within you, and like I said, the High Priestess is about intuition, and once again, we're starting off this second half of Gemini season with this Ace of Cups. We have this cup. So what is your body intuitively moving you towards? I think a lot of us really know that already, like what the things that we would be doing, the directions that we would be going, if we just could, right? If we just wanted to surround ourselves with the things that make us feel alive, make us happy. I haven't said this quote in a while, but I used to say it all the time on my readings, is to feel good is to feel God. So when you are following those things that make you feel good, that light you up, that make you feel passionate, the universe responds to that. You fill yourself with that love, that passion, that joy, and then you radiate that, and then it magnifies and comes back to you. So yeah, to experience more peace with the second half of Gemini season, trust your intuition. Move towards the things that you are interested in moving towards because you want to move towards them, not necessarily because it's popular or, whatever other social currency, social validation or reason. Stay connected to the feelings that are occurring in your body. Okay, so the last message, this is the advice from Spirit. We got the Star card. This is an Aquarius card, and this is all about like faith, having faith. Our dreams, our wishes, our ideal experience that we would like to have for ourselves, and how we bring that in. The thing that I always bring up with the Star card is that it reminds me of the song Reflection in the movie Mulan, where she sings, "When will my reflection show who I am inside?" Right? I think during the second half of Gemini season, and possibly even this first half of Gemini season coming into this, like leading up to this moment now, there has been a like shift in kind of our understanding of who we are and the environment that we surround ourselves with. Um, with the star, I brought this up actually in a reading that I did for Aquarius for the Gemini new moon, where it's like your environment is always providing you feedback, right? So if you are finding yourself like upset, or you're finding yourself like hitting blockages in your like communities or the spaces that you put yourself in, how are those energies reflecting the energy that you show up as, that you show up with, right? Because you are who you surround yourself with. So if there is something about the people or the environment that you're surrounded by that you're not liking, what is it about you that is not being expressed, or what is it about you that is being held back? If that makes sense. Like there's some aspect or some truth of self that you know for you, but everybody else doesn't know. It's up to you to kind of define that as an individual. And if you are no longer satisfied with this, your surroundings, and you are not honoring who you are as an individual. So that's what I mean, where like your surrounding or your community is a reflection of you. If you are bumping up to issues or you're feeling dissatisfied with what's around you, then what are you dissatisfied with that's within you? You know? What more can we see for the advice moving forward the second half of Gemini season? Seven of Swords in the reverse. This is typically about withholding information, but something needs to come out. Something, not even necessarily that it needs to be communicated, but there is some piece of information that we're not looking at and we're not incorporating. When I see this Seven of Swords, I see this person holding so tightly onto these five swords, holding onto this information that they deem valuable or worthy, and they leave these two other swords behind because they don't want to look at them. They don't want to incorporate them. They're just ignoring them. So to have this in the reverse, it's like, play with all the information. There is something that you are holding back, some idea, some perspective, some truth, some perspective, like I said, that you're ignoring, you're not looking at. One more message. The Three of Cups. Yes. So this is about your communities. This is about your friend groups. This is about networking. People that provide a sense of support, love, and happiness for you, right? This also echoes this kind of star energy where it's really community based. It's very humanitarian. It's very about the people and how you find yourself in communities, right? I feel like for a lot of folks right now, there are discrepancies that you are realizing in your environment, in your surroundings, that are not in alignment with who you feel you are. And you've been holding parts of yourself back. And because of that, we haven't been able to really feel satisfied with the things we have, feel happy with them or fulfilled with them, because they're not actually meeting our need. We're not being honest about our need. So the world that we create, this persona that we create, it's not genuine. It's not in alignment with who we really are and what we actually desire and what we actually enjoy and love. and need for support and fulfillment. So that is the message of the second half of Gemini season. I see a lot of people moving in new directions, in directions that they're feeling called to move, because they're passionate about it. They find a sense of joy and fulfillment and meaningfulness in those things. And whatever that is for you, it's completely your own. It really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feels about it. But what does matter is how you go about getting your needs met. If you're not being honest about them, if you're not being genuine about them, they're never going to be met. And everything around you is just going to be performative. So if you're honest about what you actually want, then you actually have a chance to experience that and receive that and get that cup, filled. You've got this Ace of Cups in the reverse. You have an empty cup. So what environments fill that cup based on how you want it to be filled? So we're gonna get a message from the animal spirits and then close this out. What animal spirit is coming through for us for the second half of Gemini season? Any energy that we need to know or be aware of or possibly embody at this time? Please and thank you, Spirit. A message from the animal spirits. Okay, the message is the bear. Alright, so let's see what the bear has to say. Okay. The bear. Waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of the spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles. But you have no choice there. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When in balance, inner strength, yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness. To bring into balance, movement and exercise. All right, so yes, this is touching on exactly what I'm seeing here with this strength card. And also with the Two of Wands. Like I said, there's a lot of us are on the brink of newness, like it says. But we're wanting to go into new directions, and these directions really require a personal transformation, right? And so it's interesting because when you hear transformation, that is kind of like a buzzword for like Scorpio energy, death card energy. And we don't have any of that here. I will say we do have a lot of fixed energy, which is legit. We got Leo, we got Aquarius, and we even got this King of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords. So I would say like a lot, Aquarius energy is very prominent here, which is relevant for the Pluto in Aquarius that is kind of eroding a sense of like group mentality. So yeah, personal transformation that is going on here, but it's more of an Aquarius transformation where you're transforming how you see yourself as an individual and how that reflects in the communities outside of you, right? There is a peeling back of the social smoke screen, if I should say. It's like the costume that you put on. It's like you're tired of putting the costume on every day, you know? So instead of putting on the costume, you're going to go out as yourself and you're going to find the spaces where yourself fits in. Or you're going to make that space, you know? And some of you have been denying parts of yourself. I will say with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, and the Ace of Swords coming through now with the King of Pentacles. It's kind of like standing up for who you are now, standing up for your truth of who you are now. So that's what I see for the second half of Gemini season. Definitely let me know how this is resonating with y'all. Give me a like if you like this. Share this if you think it is relevant and good for somebody else to watch. And yeah, comment your experience down below in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Things are going to be changing around as I get settled here at home. I haven't even put up any of the fun things like tapestries and photographs and all of that. But yeah, I am excited for the shifts that are occurring for myself. Yeah, and also there are changes coming through for Reckless Abandon Tarot that will be announced at some point. So keep your eyes out for that. And I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.